Hi all, welcome back to more Normandy, the beginning and the end, using the Alone in the Storm, so expansion, playing scenario 2, German counterattack. This is my part 12. Yeah, 12. Okay, that's the following day, so we got a couple of parts done yesterday. Might get a couple in just now as well. Well, one in just now and one in later on before I have to. But we'll see. So yeah, I made a comment. I just watched back part 9 and uploaded that. And I noticed the mistake. Again, one that I had decided that this is how I was doing it, and Hal pointed out to me that line of sight shouldn't be blocked. Going down a bocage hex spine, if you like. So when we were looking at carrying out this unit's reaction, I said that I had no line of sight to this. In actual fact, it does, doesn't it? Well, hang on. Depends what's on either side. Yeah, see, that's an open hex on that side. And the friendlies don't block the line of sight. It's just that they can't fire through them. So that is not block line of sight. And although the bridge is here, you can see this is going right down the hex spines of that hex and that hex as well. So that should have been free line of sight. Now I watched the die roll that we done for that, and he still carried out the same action anyway, so we got away with it. But again, this was before I decided that right enough. Well, before I'd read Hal's comment and looked into it more and decided, yeah, pretty sure he's right with that, and we're going to play it that way. So that was all, I think. Yeah, I don't think anything else to talk about. So it's back over the Germans. We had a bash at this guy with that, didn't we? Well, we identified this. We failed to identify this. And yeah, it's back to them. And it's going to be, as nothing's routed, so the next priority is going to be somebody with a 2 actions marker. So it's going to be these again. Now these got marked for reaction, but these are going to these are going to be the priority. So we can take that away, and yeah, do something with this. Now what did it end up doing the last time? Did it fire? I want to say it maybe did it fire and not hit then? Because it's not moved, has it? These got marked for reaction because, oh, hold on. Tell you what, I've marked these for reaction, and I'm just saying that they do have line of sight. I wonder if I can fix that. That seems like a bit of a one that could do a fixing, couldn't it? Let me look back in the video footage just to confirm what this guy actually done. Do we have anybody hitting there? No, there's 3 platoons. There's only 4 markers on that. 4 counters on that hex. 3 platoons and the officer. Wait, hold on. What is this? That's from this, yeah. And that was a slight blunder as well. And looking back and considering this whole thing, how I said about if we find a target for something, it's quite possible we're going to find the same target. Remember, because this is targeted by this to move to it, it doesn't mean another AI company or Intel marker can't target that same hex. And I've not been considering that up until I talked about it last night. So I'll need to watch that, I think. Any kind of action given, if there's a target marker in the hex, I don't ignore that. You know, it could end up with more than one target marker from different companies' Intel markers. Right, let me go and look at that. And obviously, yeah, I'm probably going to have to rewind and take a shot with these guys. Because this one's not in line of sight, because it's crossing this hex, and this hex has got the bridge in it. So this is blocking terrain, so that's not line of sight. However, that I chose to say it wasn't because it was going down this spine of bocage, but as been pointed out to me, it feels like I've been getting that wrong. So I think that's why he's marked reaction. So let me go and have a look and see if we can fix this. Right, okay, I checked back. It was just in part 11 that this all got dealt with. And all was good. This did fire on this. It got a hit result of 2, but then this is in a defence value of 4. So it didn't do any damage. Also, when I was looking at this was after I had resolved the fact that this does have line of sight. And it doesn't fire because it can't fire because the 2 friendlies in the way. Like I say, they're on either hex side of the spine, so I'm going to assume that he's not got a clear fire past these friendlies. So that's why he was marked for reaction. So that was fine. Right, so we've removed the 2 action mark. This is getting 2 actions. I don't know if this is going to change this or not. Which means technically, I suppose technically this should be turned upside down, this one, shouldn't it? Because because this didn't happen in this didn't happen in this activation. Is that right? Well, we know what we're doing anyway, and he might change that reaction order anyway. Although I don't think he will, but right. Well, we need to find new orders for the guys. So where are we? Orders. Right. I'm pretty sure they're probably just going to do the same, aren't they? Right. Well, we'll look out for the. Well, we've got a. Oh, stop, Grant. Stop. That's something you forgot about. The officer. And possibly different orders. They can do different things, can't they? AI officers action. Well, hold on though. We did look at this before and we're a little bit confused by it all, and then I think John Brown put his thoughts into this one and cleared it up a bit for me. They will rally if they can, right? There's no direct 1 onboard artillery mission. Well, I'm just about to say there's no, but I mean, we do have an ATRA intel marker and a mortar intel marker. In fact, is one of them not? Is this not one of them here? Or is this just... Yeah, see, there's the ATR. But while it's an intel marker, does that mean anything? I don't know. Let's go through the rest of these just to see. So we would rally if they were routed. We'll come back to that. The officer would move. He would move with them if they were going to move. Right? There's no off-board artillery missions. There's no off-board air missions. There's no off-board artillery missions. And then none does nothing really. So my only worry here is it says only indirect art fire is possible for at least 1 platoon with art attack orders. Place an art attack orders marker and perform it according to chart C. I do wonder if he could have given an order for this to do an artillery attack, and the fact that this doesn't have line of sight, but he does have line of sight on that hex, makes me wonder that if he could carry this out. I didn't really want any of this now, but got to get it right, Grant. Got to get it right. Where am I going to find this then? Hang on. I'm starting to think that this might might be wanting to apply, actually. I mean, if we consider that ATRA, then it does have, I mean, even the mortar has this as well. But the ATRA does have 11 artillery fire factors of a strength of 11 and a range of 7. And look, I mean, the mortar could be doing this as well. So does that mean that this officer would carry out an artillery attack? So I had to go at the main rules here. So we've got off-board artillery. Well, that's not what this is. It's on-board artillery. So it's down here. I don't know if this is going to help us or not. What's bothering me just now is I thought there was more that I'd read about this procedure here on the solo side of things, and I'm not finding it. Place an art attack orders marker and perform it according to the chart. Chart C. Yeah, that doesn't help me, that chart. That's not... I thought it kind of described this process a bit better, but I mean, maybe it's just in the rule books. If I looked... Well, when I look for attack in the rule book, I get off-board artillery coming up, but I don't get... Yeah, I think there is more in this. Well, I'm not quite sure how to deal with this. This is, it does give you some of this in this big, huge example on the solo rules, which starts on page 14. It's well worth a look through this. Without going through it all here, though, you can sort of see, it's not... Well, that's what's in this hex here, and that's the relevant part, actually, I suppose. So, this has been given an attack order, and you can see that's its target. And this has been given a defensive movement order, and that's its target, right? And yeah, if you read through that, you'll find that that's so... Well, actually... Let me find, because the fact that that's got an attack order is sort of like concerning me now. Hold on. Yeah, there's a bit of talks, the flak here. Flak 36 and hex 706. Let's go down there a little bit, which is that hex, and that's the flak that they're talking about there. All previous considerations from the last point apply here as well. Okay, I know I've not been over that. So again, the orders will be attack. Player follows the diagram and it gets an attack marker and a target marker in here. Okay, so, and then it's this bit's in the part that talks about the officer here. So, and hold on, the officer is actually in the hex adjacent, isn't he? So he's not in the same hex. He's not in that hex. He's in that hex. So it says, as the platoon stacked with the officer are not moving or assaulting, and the officer is not routed, different orders from the officer orders chart E must be assigned. The highest priority orders aren't applicable. There's no routed platoons, so the second orders are assigned. Direct one on-board artillery mission. So that's what we're doing. It doesn't talk about that flak or anything like that here as well, so it had made me wonder. I thought they were just able to do it, but I mean, when I spoke about this before, John or somebody mentioned that you didn't have any artillery units on the map, so I mean, they do have an artillery unit here that's adjacent to this officer, although it's got an attack action, so I don't know. So it carries on. It said, so finally, follow the executing orders priority chart C. The applicable orders of execution is found in line 3, art attack. And that's meaning this. So it would be looking at these priorities. And the conditions would be... is it that? Why am I struggling to understand that again? I remember looking at this before and being a bit confused, and then it's quite clear, isn't it? Priority 1, art attack plus AT attack. Right, I think it's saying it's priority 3, isn't it? Applicable order of execution is found in line 3, art attack. According to the table, I'm just reading this from the top. According to the table, the AI performs the art attack using the AI's officer to direct it. So I do need to, I think, look into the rules. Sorry, I'm going away here. About that. So it is saying that's the first thing that would happen. This officer that's got this special order, or this other order, has one to carry out. It's going to direct one onboard artillery mission. According to the table, the AI performs art attack using the AI's officer to direct it. After the attack is solved with no losses for the player force, the orders and target markers are removed from the map. And then you continue with the AP attack, and it continues with all the other attacks. The thing with that is, I'm still a bit confused, because if that flak unit, coming back down here, if that flak unit got given an order to attack, and then the officer gets another order to direct one onboard artillery mission, does that carry out that onboard artillery mission attack, and then does that flak then get to attack as well, because it's set up to attack? I mean, that doesn't seem right, does it? I'm not really sure here. I'm not sure. And I think the fact it's an intel marker we're talking about, and it's got RFF capabilities, I think we can still consider this to carry out this attack. But surely this doesn't get to shoot twice. It doesn't really make it that clear. I mean, if it's saying direct one onboard artillery mission, I wish it explained it better here, you know. I wish it said, and it's got the flak there, it can use the flak for this on, because it's adjacent to it, and just explain it a bit better, but it's not really doing that. Well, maybe you need the main rules for that, Grant. Well, it's on pages 22 and 23 here. So we've got attack, we've got offboard artillery. Yeah, I mean, I think we just need to look at this onboard artillery. Artillery attacks procedure. Artillery attack resolution procedure, RFF, is slightly different from the standard attack resolution described in chapter 7.3. In this chapter, all changes to be considered are detailed. Platoons with art attack capacity that are not indicated as anti-tank on the counter itself as AT, pack or flak, that are not indicated, will be considered as onboard artillery. Well, that's a problem right away, isn't it? Because that unit that we're looking at in the example was marked as flak, isn't it? Flak 36 or something, wasn't it? Flak 34. Platoons with art attack capacity that are not indicated as anti-tank on the counter itself as AT, pack or flak. Wait, hang on, is it saying... No, is it saying these are considered as onboard artillery? Am I reading it wrong again? Platoons with art attack capacity that are not indicated as anti-tank on the counter itself... I don't... as AT, pack or flak will be considered as onboard artillery. So these are considered as onboard artillery. Is it just me, or is that just sentence written in a way to confuse you? Maybe just me. As has been described before, these platoons may attack using its company officer as observer in direct fire, or without external fire guidance when the target is in platoon line of sight. The anti-tank platoons, although they have RFF, lack the ability of parabolic fire, so they can only perform direct fire on the hexes in its line of sight. Anti-tank platoons, although they have RFF. So, yeah, as been described before, these platoons may attack using its company officer as observer in direct fire. So that's been described before. I'd like to read that then. Right, I think this is the stuff that is said previously talked about. It was on the previous page 22. Art attacks may be performed in two different ways, direct or indirect fire. Indirect fire will require the spotting aid of an officer, providing fire coordinates. Right, well, direct fire is not going to apply here because it can't see it, and the whole point of this is the officer giving it an order. Indirect fire, an activated officer may choose to direct, spot for, one artillery mission, either an off-board or on-board platoon in his company, and activate later the platoons of his company. Oh, okay. So that does seem that they can do this twice then. He may choose to direct one artillery mission either as off-board or on-board in his company and activate later the platoons of his company, or direct two artillery missions, losing the ability to activate his platoons that turn. Indirect fire may be used by both on-board and off-board artillery against any target placed within officer line of sight. For this purpose, platoons can only do so if they are under command of their officer. Oh, hold on here. That's not their officer. However, it's not allowed if the artillery platoon is located in a woods or light woods hex and the line of sight crosses an adjacent woods or light woods hex. I don't think that it's in an open hex, so it's going over bocage, but that doesn't apply. Sorry, am I showing you all that? I think so. However, indirect attacks may be performed even if there is a friendly platoon blocking the line of fire, due to the fact this attack type uses parabolic fire and it isn't affected by intermediate obstacles. Yeah, so it's firing over the top, isn't it? Furthermore, if there are enemy platoons in multiple hexes in the line of fire, the closest must be attacked unless it is an indirect attack or the attack is up or down slope. Yeah, so if it's direct, it's going to attack the closest. If it's indirect, that's fine, unless you're going up or down a slope there. And then there's two different types it talks about here: concentrated bombardment, dispersed bombardment. Well, maybe need to come back to that. So I suppose my latest issue there was, although that was starting to sound like this officer can do this, and can activate that as well. It's not that, well, yeah, I guess this is not getting marked finished when it does it. So it's going to have done that and then it's going to be sitting with reaction on it. I think this can happen. Well, the one that's came in there is, this officer is part of this company, not this company. However, they're coordinating here. So I want to say though that there's certain restrictions to the coordination. Well, let's see if there's any, and I think we looked at this last night as well though. Coordination officers, page 27, the main rules here. Coordination allows activation of two companies simultaneously as if all of the corresponding platoons belong to the same company for activation purposes, but not for morale or fire group purposes. Well, it's not a morale, it's not really a fire group, it's an officer directing onboard artillery. This coordination is useful for close assault purposes as described below. Do the support attempting coordination, selecting officers. I don't really want to read through this. Roll of dice. If the result is higher, right, the other officer is not activated and thus remains available. Yeah, it's not giving us any more there. So rules, officer coordination. As described in chapter 7.1, EAT activation prior. 7.1, hang on. Right, I don't know. I don't know if the fact that this is, I mean, they were all coordinated together. I think I'm going to do this. And remember, because he's doing it, he's just going to do it once. It does mean that this can still activate itself, and what we'd have done, its order would have been to put a reaction marker on it, so that's fine. So, well, I'm going to have to find out how to go about this artillery attack thing. I mean, it's got a range of 8, no 7 was it, and it's got an attack of 11. So I'm going to carry out an indirect artillery fire, because that's what that officer's going to be given as his order here. Direct 1 on board artillery mission, only indirect. There it is there. I knew it was something about indirect. It's in there. Condition: only indirect art fire is possible for at least 1 platoon with art attack orders. Place an art attack orders marker and perform it according to chart C. And it says according to chart C. Chart C is just telling you the priority of how to go about the orders. So this would have happened first. The artillery attack would have been priority. It would have happened first. And then, thing is, didn't we mark all these for reaction first before giving them all their orders? And now we're like, well, I'm going to go for it. We're going to have to learn if this is going wrong or not. And I'm not. Although it annoyed me in scenario 1, the fact that I blundered that rush resistance thing, I don't know if I'm all that fussy now. If somebody points out that I've got something completely wrong, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to play a game like that. But I'm kind of struggling along here, and either do that or I just quit. I just pack the game in. If somebody comes and points to the rule that this means that this wouldn't happen, then so be it, and we've blundered, and that's that. So indirect artillery fire. Right, I think it's just the main rules I'm going to need for that. Was it not 22 and 23 grand? Right, when a player announces that the activated officer is going to direct 1 or 2 onboard artillery missions and direct fire, the following procedure is executed. Place a suitable artillery bombardment marker, the ones with caliber, in the target hex, or markers if you wish to bombard the same hex with 2 missions. Right, we're just doing 1, but what kind of counter is it I'm needing here? Well, what? I don't know what caliber this is. Do I? I mean, it just says artillery fire. It just gives it as an 11. Right away that's starting to say that maybe you're not doing... Maybe this isn't the right thing to be doing. Oh, there's... Yeah. See, there's one 150... I mean, I'm looking for the likes of this. I think. But I don't know which one. How am I going to know that? So maybe now this is telling me that this can't happen. However, if I was to get... is that going to help me that? Yes, it is. Look, this is one of the ones, remember, this is one of the counters I couldn't find. Still not being clipped yet, but I'll get around to it. This is one of the ones that I couldn't find, and then found the extra counters lying in the box waiting to be clipped. and this is one that could be part of this. Let's see here. I'll zoom out a bit. Is it part of the ATR? Yeah, there they are. 2 times 105mm LE FH18. So this could be in this Intel marker. So you can see that's 105mm. So now I go and grab. I think I'd seen one there. There it is. So now this procedure that we're going through, I could go and grab this, but I don't know. I think I'm going to dodge out of this one with that, because that's sort of telling me that we cannot do that while it's an Intel marker, isn't it? Because how do we place the suitable artillery bombardment marker, the ones with caliber, in the target hex? Well, I can't do that because I don't know what it is. I mean, you could say, well, it's definitely going to be 105mm because it's got it there. Well, no, because we might get this one, that's 75mm. Or this one, which is 150mm. So, I mean, I wouldn't be looking at that way anyway and saying, well, it might be this, it might be that. That's just a bit of nonsense, isn't it? So, do we skip on by this then? I think so. There's nothing. I mean, I could go and ask the question. What? Yeah, there's nothing in the solo rules, I don't think. Well, just double check, Grant. No, I was just reading through the Intel markers bit here, and it talks about, because they've not got fire factors, you just use that chart. But there's nothing that explains there that how you would carry an indirect artillery fire attack. If it was a direct artillery fire attack, I think I could do it. Well, you're saying that. What do the rules onboard artillery? Offboard artillery. I don't know. It still needs that marker, does it not? Direct fire. In such a case, the heavy weapon platoon activates normally along with the rest of its company when activated by its commanding officer, or alone if out of command. It may form fire groups with other platoons in the same company. As the attack doesn't require an officer acting as a spotter to direct it, direct fire may only fire in hexes in its line of sight. Yeah, I'm just wondering if we could carry out direct artillery fire with that Intel marker. It just says it joins up as a fire group. Okay, I'm going to have to move on by this. We're going to say that this is not applicable then. If this had been a company that had a calibered artillery unit in its hex, then yes, but I don't see how we can do it without knowing its caliber. And saying that, like I say, I get the feeling that if it's direct fire, it doesn't use that caliber thing. I think that's only for indirect fire. But again, I'm not sure. Right, okay, so we're going to rewind and fast forward again because that didn't apply. The officer done nothing. Please let me know your thoughts. So again, we're carrying it as 2 actions. He fired, right, what is he going to do now? We've got 2 platoons, one with a step loss, one not with no step loss. So we want the orders for him. And they're probably going to be the same as they were. So it's high activity. He's got somebody within 3. We've got 1 without losses, and then we've got 1 with a step loss. So the 1 without losses we're going to roll there. Now there might be modifiers again here, so this is just a D10 roll. So straight up 1 to 7 assault, 8 to 10 attack. But again, I think it's not going to be able to assault, is it? So we've got a 6 there. 6 modifiers +1 for each hex with at least 2 non-rated player platoons located up to 3 hexes away. Yeah, so there's a +1. However, there's a -1 because there's an intel marker adjacent. So +1, -1. We rolled a 6. So it does want to do assault. However, that's, I think right away that's going to just be changed to attack, isn't it? Because we cannot. And yeah, I suppose you should go down the flowchart, but is the flowchart on the other side of this? Well, we got assault, didn't we? Yeah, so I was about to get the flowchart out, but I don't think we need to, because I think we just need to look at this note. That's the very bottom one that goes on the next bit. Assault movement may only be carried out with sections that can assault in that same activation. Well, I think that probably could do that. However, those who cannot will receive an attack order. Well, what I mean is it probably could do it. I was meaning like distance to the target, etc. But if we remember, assault is only going to be carried out if it's safety assault, isn't it? Let's just quickly look at the flowchart. Keep me straight. So we've got a target. Can it be reached in this activation? Yes. I'm saying yes, but I'm not 100% sure. That would be 1. Right, I don't know, to be honest. I think maybe if it crosses the blockage into there, that's 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's got enough movement to actually go into the hex, so that'd be a yes. Is it placed in defensive terrain while in defensive mode and may attack with MFF? It's not in defensive mode, so no. Yeah, here's it. Can it make a safe assault? No, it cannot. Is rush greater than 4? Yes. Oh. No, rush is not greater than 4, Grant. If it was, though, it'd go and do the assault, look. So, there you go. So we will need to watch that in future. Rush is only 3, so no. So it's want to select a target again? Why is it going back to select a target? Yeah, that was interesting to see if it's not got safe assault possibilities, it could still do it. Well, at least that note. Where's that in the book again? That note. Assault movements can only be performed by platoons that may start an assault procedure in that activation. All platoons who cannot assault in the current turn may not perform this order, so they receive and perform an attack order instead. So they could have, and this would still work. It's not necessarily true that they need to have safe assault. However, that was a no, the rush, so it goes back to there, wants to select another target. Yeah, I'm going to have to, there's no point cycling through that again, so I'm going to have to just go down no here. To say no target available, so. May attack with MFF. It's 13, but it's going to be cut in half, so that's going to be 6 into a 4. That would be a no. May be attack with MFF. I think that's a yes, isn't it? This has got 18, cut in half to 9, and that's, hang on. There's no reaction marker though, Grant. So it's 9 for cut in half for range, and then it's no reaction marker, so cut in half again. There's 5 into Whitewoods. So it needs it would need 8 to attack it in a divisor 3. So it's only going to have 5. So that's actually a no as well then. Just wonder if I got that wrong before. But then, no, was that not when the American... No, I don't know. Maybe attack with MFF. No. Can move to a hex with higher divisor closer to target or objective. Well, yeah, again. I think we said this was a yes because we could move to here or here, and that is getting closer to our objective or target. So I think that's a yes. But is there safe movement to there? No. No, because I think even reaching, if we were to reach either of these, he's going to be able to fire with 9 into there and on 9 into there. So no, there's not going to be safe movement to there. Offensive mode, rush greater than 0, yes. Let's go try and move to that hex then. I'm worn out. Dear. I think I'm going to backtrack there and use this note as because assault movements can only be performed by platoons that may start an assault procedure in that activation. Well, they can they? They can't start an assault activation. They've got the capabilities to move to it and do it, but they can't do it because of the safe movement and safe assault restrictions. So basically that note is just saying if they can't do it, give it an attack order instead. And I think that's what I should do. I mean, I know I've followed that flowchart there and actually ended up here. I mean, that offensive mode rush greater than 0, that was right. So yes, it's a move to the hex, so it's going to get shot at with MFF. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to just straight up say, look, this cannot assault this because whatever reason it can't do it. And if that's the case, they receive and perform an attack order instead. So that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm just starting to lose it a bit here. Frustration's kicking in again. But that's maybe just, I don't know, I think maybe I'm a bit weary at the moment. I need to go and get the dogs out as well. So, well, let's just quickly finish this. So we need an attack order for, now hold on, that was a non-routed, not unit without a step loss, wasn't it? Well, you know what? There's no point in rolling the dice on this one because it's going to be the same situation. If we do roll assault, he's not going to be able to do it. He's going to do attack. So there's no point in rolling that dice. They're both going to do an attack here, right? Now the officer again has got the possibility of doing orders on his own, but we're going to just move on by that. And I don't need to mess about with his. That's what he's going to attack, right? And they're both going to do that. Now, what about these then? These are marked for reaction, and but I think we can still look at them. But then, hold on, they're not going to find anything, are they? I think they're just going to find the same thing. Well, they'd be rolling... yeah, because they're not Well, hang on, that's the one we got wrong last time, because they do actually have line of sight now. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away. However, they do have line of sight and high activity, 4 hexes away. And these are platoons without losses. Platoons in spotting range. Oh, hold on. Place that create unequally 4 hexes. Remember, they're in dispersed buildings, 4 hexes away. I think that is alright. Was it 3 to 5? Oh no, it's 3. Yeah, it's only 3. Because they're not moving. Dispersed buildings, it's 3. It would be 5 if they were moving. It's only 3 hexes away. So they don't have... they can't spot from there to there because this is in dispersed buildings. It would need to be 1 hex closer. So that means it's out of range then, isn't it? It means it's here. We'd be rolling on this. Assault or advance. There's no point in doing the assault. Well, no, there is, because if it gets an assault order and it can't do it, it's going to turn into an attack order. So it could be attack or advance. So let's roll the dice. They're going to get they're not going to get the +1 because the platoons are 4 hexes away. They are going to get a -1 to this die roll. So with a -1, roll the 7, which is a 6, which is still advance. And I'm sure this is right. I know they're marked for reaction, but so they want an advance, which is over the other side. But isn't it just going to come... Did we not end up down here before? Well, let's try and go quickly. No. Select a target. Well, it's the same target as what the other guys are after. Closest hex with the AI force may attack with MFF. Well, the closest hex where it can attack with MFF is not going to be safe movement, is it? So is there safe movement to the hex? I know I've not picked a hex out here, but that's going to be no. Is it placed in defensive terrain? I think it is. No, it's not. Well, remember this. What is defensive terrain? It's not anyway. Defensive movement order. Right, how have we got there? That seems all new, that. Advance, may attack, no. Select a target, which is the closest hex which can perform MFF. Yeah. There's a safe movement to that hex. There won't be, I don't think. 1, 2, yeah, as soon as it moves. If it was to move 3 hexes away, actually, if it was to move 3 hexes away, it would maybe be able to do it in safe movement, wouldn't it? I'm a little confused how we're coming here, though, when the last time we just marked this for reaction. Is it cause it got an attack order? And we went down a different... If we go down the attack flowchart here, I think so. I actually think it's because we were going down the attack. I think it got chose for assault, and because we couldn't do assault, we switched to attack, And I think that's why it got marked for reaction. That looks more like the one that we went to. If I was to look through that, but I'm not going to bother. So that's why this is going differently, I think. So can this go to mean, for instance, this hex here would be 1, 2, 3 away. Right, hold on though. It needs to be able to attack with MFF. And that's not going to be, is it? It's 13. 13, so half of 13 is not going to be any good to it, because it's going to need to have a 10, is it? Or an 8? No, a 10. It's going to need 10 fire factors, which means it needs to be 2 hexes away, which means it cannot reach in safe movement, because that guy's going to be able to fire on them with 9. Right, so no. So there's no point actually finding a target. Well, we can find the target hex, but there's no point specifying it out because it's not going to move to there. So safe movement, no. Is it placed in defensive terrain? No. Defensive movement order. Defensive movement order, question mark. What is that? I don't know. Defensive movement order, question mark. Does that mean can it do a defensive movement order if we looked at that? If it is a yes, that goes away along to select a target. Which I get, because if you just read that, it says the closest hex with the highest divisor with AI cannot be attacked with MFF. If there isn't one, choose the closest hex where it cannot be attacked with MFF, or a hex with block LDV. I think that means line of sight, LDV. I seen that mentioned in one of the replies. My guess is that it's the Spanish for it. I might be wrong. Maybe that stands LDV. No, I think that means line of sight. I think it's just been not translated there. So then it would select a different target. Yeah, I suppose because we are doing an advance, meant to be doing an advance movement, and there it's asking if you can switch to a defensive movement order. Now, if for some reason you can't, Ross is greater than 4, no, then it's going to place reaction marker on it. But I don't know, I'm sort of a little confused why this is a question. If it was yes, we'd select a new target and based on this rather than this. So maybe we can cycle through that. Oh dear. Right. I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop. And I know I'm 53 minutes in there, but I'm getting a sore head with this. I'll put that there. And I'll put a little red cube on the one that's marked with the reaction upside down. That's the one we're trying to deal with. And it looks like I'm going to have to make decisions here and just say, well, yeah. I mean, that's sort of making some sense. You know, it can't do the advanced movement, but it could possibly do defensive movement. I just can't really... I've not got the patience at the moment to go through this and deal with it. So I will cut this as a part because it allows me to upload it just now while I go and take the dogs out and that. And then I'll come back later and we'll try and deal with this. Man, things are going very slow, aren't they? Very slow. And I feel like... I don't know. I feel like I could come across these things again and still not be sure what to do. It's not as if once I've done it once, I know exactly how it works. Because there's 2 or 3 things I felt like I've been through before and I'm still struggling through them. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm making this harder than it needs to be, you know. I know there's a lot of people out there that have probably played this and have just breezed through it and done what they felt was right and whatever. But as I've got to do everything by the, well, I'm saying by the book. It's trying to understand it by the book. It's a difficult thing. Okay, I'll have a break for now and try and let my headache go away, and I'll be back later. Cheers.